What up? It's your boy T-Bird Reaction. The day is Wrestling Reaction on Wrestling Wednesday, and we're gonna get into some face turns, best things. But you know me, I'm all about the baby face and everything. But this one is more so a not so good about faces and face turn. This is actually top 10 worst face turns. Cause a lot, me, I like ain't good face. I love face turn pass no matter what. But there's some face turn that a lot of folks may feel is questionable, maybe because of the motive, or how the turn went, or the aftermath turn, or the person who actually turned face, as well too. Cause shout out to Cricket Rawls, one of the cover he had is built a real face turn. And a lot of people are looking back and regretting it because of how shit of a person a built to real is in real life. So there's that. That's like a lot of people are questioning about people being faced because of Hogan, the whole controversy with Hogan. And many other who are faces but had a lot of controversy on them, to the point that they're saying that the wrestler that turned heel on that said face, whatever, is really a reverse Uno card. They're facing in the hill. Like a lot of people saying that now you know how bad Marjorie, the barbershop incident with Shawn Michaels, when Shawn Michaels turned heel and broke up with the Rockers at Bruce at the barbershop segment, and a lot of people as a lady, because of Marjorie's recent actions through the year, has claimed that Shawn was actually being the face and destroying a true heel and whatever, stuff like that. So it's a lot with that. So that being said, let's see why some of these face turns was considered the top 10 worst face turns. Let's get it.
In wrestling, you have faces and heels, good guys and bad guys. However, you can't stay a hero forever, and you can't be a villain for eternity either. Throughout WWE, we've seen some well-executed and impactful face turns. But we aren't talking about that today. We've gone through and found the top 10 absolute worst WWE face turns of all time. Starting with number 10, 8-Ball Pool. Wait. That's not supposed to be there. Oh, right. 8-Ball Pool is the sponsor of this video.
Oh.
And you want to know why?
We could kind of skip that because I'm pressed for time, so let's get it.
And Charlotte Flair.
Oh.
Certain wrestlers...
Yeah, a lot of people do not like Charlotte Flair. A lot of people don't like... There's certain wrestlers that people feel like should never turn face as well too. One of them is, and there's times I don't agree with it though as well too. I hate when people say that. I hate when people say that because people I say that feel like a wrestler and a certain wrestler and face turn or being the base face in the same sense is not good look as well too. But this is one of rare time I slightly agree. Although she's been doing good as a face with Alexa Bliss as a lady though, but her being a face, especially when she was getting Rhea, a lot of folks was not wanting her to be a face against Rhea, was not going to root for her. They was going to root for Rhea, and they'll get on anybody cases that root for her or Rhea, because trust me, I know. But anyway, let's keep going.
Just work better as a heel, and Charlotte Flair is one of those wrestlers. Not saying she can't be a good face, but without the right storylines and opponents, It doesn't work out. Case in point, Charlotte Flair's face turn in 2017. In April of that year, Flair was sent over to SmackDown, where she would soon earn a shot at the SmackDown Women's Champion, Naomi. During the match, both Charlotte and Naomi would be attacked by the faction known as the Welcoming Committee. This caused Flair to turn face, and she briefly formed an alliance with Naomi as well as Becky Lynch. For a while, Charlotte Flair's face turn wasn't bad, but as time went on, it felt like she was hogging up the main event scene. But it did lead to a phenomenal match at WrestleMania 34, where Charlotte defeated Asuka to end the Empress of Tomorrow's undefeated streak. However, this is when the face turn started to fall apart. Charlotte fell into a common babyface problem. They win all the big matches and get all the title shots, even though it doesn't feel like they've actually earned it. This really came to a head at SummerSlam 2018. Charlotte Flair, Carmella, and Becky Lynch were in a triple threat match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Charlotte won.
This one they had Becky Lynch trying to make her heel. Yeah.
Stealing the win from Becky Lynch and became the new champ. Then this happened.
Yeah.
Yes, Becky Lynch turned heel on Charlotte, and the crowd cheered for it.
Yeah.
This continued, and despite WWE's efforts to make Lynch the heel, fans kept supporting her and booing Charlotte. WWE eventually gave in and turned Flair heel again at Survivor Series, but it took longer than it should have. While Charlotte Flair's face turn started off fine, by the end, it had become a train wreck. Number 9, Sheamus. The Celtic Warrior has built a solid foundation for himself in WWE, but back in the early 2010s, that wasn't always the case. Sheamus debuted in June 2009 as a heel, a bad guy, and by the end of the year, he had defeated John Cena to win the WWE Championship. He didn't hold the title for too long, but did win it back again in 2010, and was still presented as a main event star. Then, it just sort of collapsed. Sheamus went on to win the 2010 King of the Ring, and this is when Sheamus' career hit a slump. He started losing matches more frequently and became a clear mid-carder. Perhaps that's why, in July 2011, WWE decided to turn Sheamus face. Mark Henry had just begun his Hall of Pain storyline and was running amok on SmackDown. Sheamus confronted Henry and promised to stop Henry's bullish ways. This led to a match where Sheamus fought and lost to Mark Henry via countout. This is a problem with a lot of face turns. When a bad guy becomes a good guy and loses in their first big match, it's difficult to get invested. Now, it was a countout defeat, so that did protect Sheamus, but it didn't get the Celtic Warrior off to a good start. Now, WWE did eventually push Sheamus by having him win the 2012 Royal Rumble and become world champion at WrestleMania. However, this infamously came at the expense of Daniel Bryan, who was already building an organic connection with the fans. I don't think Sheamus beating Bryan in 18 seconds at WrestleMania was the reason his face turn was bad, but I think it put a bad taste in a lot of fans' mouths. It felt like WWE was forcing another big, muscly man down fans' throats. Okay, bad choice of words. What I'm trying to say is that because WWE was trying to make fans like Sheamus, it came across as forced. There's a reason fans started calling Sheamus the Irish John Cena at this time. On top of that, I think Sheamus' face turn came at a pretty bad time. In the early 2010s, SmackDown had become a pretty bland show, and there weren't a whole lot of great opponents for Sheamus to feud and have matches with. In the end, Sheamus would stay face until getting injured in 2014. When he returned several months later, the Celtic Warrior returned to his villainous ways, and that was definitely for the better. Number 8, The Big Show.
Oh Lord, if Miss face turn heel turns up, main face turns and main heel turn, the main turns up Big Show. Oh boy.
Running jokes in wrestling. How many times Big Show's turned face and heel? There's a lot to choose from, but I'm going with this one as Big Show's worst face turn. After an over year-long hiatus, the Big Show returned to WWE in 2008, looking much slimmer and in overall better shape. His return started off strong, with Big Show wrestling as a heel and having a marquee match with legendary boxer Floyd Mayweather. The two had a pretty entertaining bout at WrestleMania, and it's gone down as one of the best celebrity matches in WWE history. So, how do they follow that up? Well, you turn Big Show face, of course, almost immediately after WrestleMania.
I feel like that face turn actually happened during the... be honest, it happened during the Mayweather matchup, to be honest. To be completely honest. Because it started out as, him supposed to be the heel because he went on to attack Rey Mysterio, and that's when Floyd Mayweather came in and hit him with a two-piece or anything. And then he's try to make peace and then talk this trash, and it was starting getting him more over as a babyface as well too. And they was looking at I think they were looking at Mayweather as the heel because his character was more heelish than Big Show was as well too. But other than that, so I can see why they said he made face after, but truthfully, he turned face during that feud. To be honest,
the Big Show became a good guy. Why did WWE do this? So that he could have a match against the Great Khali. That was pretty much it. After that feud was finished, Big Show meandered around as a face for a while, nearly took out his own eye at One Night Stand, until finally becoming a heel again and feuding with The Undertaker. Not only was this face turn pointless, but it also derailed the momentum Big Show got from WrestleMania. Number 7, Kevin Owens. Now, Kevin Owens can be a really good babyface, but his first attempt was a big swing and a miss. Let me set the scene for you. In October 2018, Kevin Owens is taken out of action with an injury. Fast forward a few months to February 2019. Daniel Bryan is the heel WWE champion and is defending his title in the Elimination Chamber. Bryan is hanging in there, and it's down to him and Kofi Kingston. Kingston comes close, but ultimately doesn't win the big one. However, Kofi begins to receive a wave of organic support from fans who want to see Kingston get another shot at the title. Kofi gets that opportunity, but right as he and Bryan are signing the contract for their WWE Championship match, Vince McMahon interrupts. He says Kofi is no longer in the match and instead replaces him with a returning Kevin Owens. This is a total heel move. And yet, Kevin Owens was supposed to be the good guy. Yeah, WWE's plan was to have Kevin Owens face Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania with KO as the hero. Why the heck then would you have him take an opportunity from a beloved babyface like Kofi Kingston? Why even turn him face if this is the first thing you're gonna do with them? It made no sense, and the whole face turn was pretty pointless anyway. WWE course corrected and had Kofi Kingston wrestle and defeat Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. The Kofi and Bryan rivalry was supposed to continue, but Bryan got injured for real, and WWE needed a new heel for Kingston to feud with. So Kevin Owens attacked Kofi and turned heel, only about 2 months after he came back as a face. Now, as I said, Kevin Owens can work as a face, and we actually saw that a few months later when KO had his rivalry with Shane McMahon and Seth Rollins. But this first face turn was poorly timed and poorly executed. Number 6, Roman Reigns. It might be a
oh boy, why? Which one is it?
Bit controversial putting Roman Reigns only at number 6, but I have my reasons. The first one being that Roman Reigns' face turn actually started when he was still part of The Shield. In March 2014, Dean, Seth, and Roman, who had been working for Triple H and The Authority, turned on them and became good guys. Those few months of The Shield as babyfaces were great, and it led to 2 great tag team matches against Evolution. But as we all know, that didn't last. About 3 months after The Shield turned face, Seth Rollins infamously betrayed Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose and aligned himself with The Authority. Up to this point, The Shield, and therefore Roman's face turn, had been good, but now everyone was going solo, and this is where the trouble began. First off, Reigns didn't go after Seth Rollins, despite him almost literally stabbing Roman in the back. Instead, Reigns began pursuing the World Championship. I get WWE's reasoning for doing this, but from a character perspective, it didn't make any sense why Reigns wouldn't immediately try to settle things with Seth Rollins. They kind of tried to have Roman and Seth feud a few months later, but it never evolved into a proper rivalry. But that's not what ruined Roman's face turn. What ruined it was all the dumb stuff they made Reigns do, like poisoning Stephanie McMahon and Triple H's coffee. But the worst was the promos they made Roman cut.
Oh Lord.
You are a sniveling little suck-up sellout full of suffering succotash, son. And Roman Reigns, see, he had magic beans.
Man, that was bad. And it kind of sums up Roman Reigns' entire face turn. WWE was trying to make Roman into the next Rock.
They did him, and they did him so dirty, and then that's why we ended up getting the asshole tribal chief for 4 years, but now he's back. Now he's doing his face turn. It's been folks been questioning his status as of lately though as well too. Now he's back as champion. There's folks who get on my nerves. He's saying, "Oh, he never turned back face. He never apologized for it." Like whatever. He's listed as a face. Let it be. Top people have their own narrative about who's the face and heel, and not going by what the eternal roster say.
The Great One could take silly lines and make them work, but Roman Reigns wasn't The Rock. Even when WWE tried to get The Rock to rub off on Roman, it had the opposite effect. Now, in saying that, Roman's time as a babyface lasted about 6 years, and I won't pretend like it was all bad. He did have good matches and storylines during his time as a babyface. But even with that, it doesn't erase all the painful dialogue and storylines that we had to endure for 6 whole years.
The beatdown on Triple H is hilarious, especially how he sold it.
5,
Miz.
The Miz.
Oh shit!
Like I said, the
I knew. So I saw this with like Miz. I knew he was going to say Miz because he's another one to be saying that he's better as a heel than a face. Whatever.
Some wrestlers are better as heels than babyfaces, and The Miz is one of them. From the moment he debuted in 2006, The Miz was always a heel. He was annoying, arrogant, and a loudmouth, and he played it really well. Maybe it was because WWE wanted him to be a spokesperson for the company or something, but in 2012, they decided to make the A-lister a good guy. In the fall of that year, The Miz had become part of CM Punk's Survivor Series team. After Miz got left to be beaten up, the most must-see WWE superstar quit Punk's team and officially became a babyface. His first major outing was at Survivor Series 2012, where he was one of 4 members on Team Foley. While Miz did make one elimination, his team ultimately lost the match. Things picked back up though in 2013, when The Miz hosted his show, Miz TV, with Ric Flair as his guest. The two were confronted by the United States champion Cesaro, and this is where Flair would become a mentor to Miz and also give Miz the figure 4 leg lock. I always thought the pairing of Ric Flair and The Miz was weird. I guess they both have flamboyant and eccentric personalities, but it never really clicked for me. Anyways, The Miz went on to face Cesaro not once, not twice, but 3 times for the US title and lost each and every time. The Miz then moved on to the next mid-carder title, the Intercontinental Championship. While he did win it during the WrestleMania 29 pre-show, he lost the title just 1 day later on Raw. All these defeats just made Miz look like a chump, and it was hard for fans to get behind someone who couldn't win when it mattered. The A-lister stumbled around for several more months until finally becoming a heel again about 1 year after his face turn. Why this turn failed has a lot to do with how Miz was and wasn't used, but another factor that didn't help was that WWE had him wrestling on a lot of pay-per-view pre-shows. The pre-show is better than no-show, but it doesn't exactly instill big star energy. The Miz would later turn face again in 2019 and in 2023, and while they weren't perfect, those face turns were much better handled than Miz's first. Number 4, Batista. This is a good example of wrong place, wrong time, but more so the latter. In 2010, Batista ended a roughly 8-year career with WWE. The animal pursued acting
when he made a return, the Batista,
and wouldn't return to wrestling until he made it. Well, after filming Guardians of the Galaxy, the animal was ready to get back into the ring. After weeks of build-up, Batista returned to WWE just 6 days before the 2014 Royal Rumble. Now, this maybe isn't technically a face turn, but Batista did leave WWE as a heel and came back as a face, so I'm counting it. Anyways, initially the response to having Batista back was positive, but that all changed at the Royal Rumble. Batista won the titular match, and it was instantly met with boos. At the time, Daniel Bryan was the hottest rising star in WWE, and the only thing fans wanted was to see him main event WrestleMania. I don't think it was as much of fans hating Batista as it was fans hating the person WWE was pushing and trying to make them like, which just so happened to be Batista. At first, it was easy to write off the boos as just one crowd, but when Batista kept getting repeated boos despite being the good guy, it was clear WWE had made the wrong decision. 1 month after returning, WWE turned Batista heel, got Daniel Bryan into the main event of WrestleMania, and awarded D. Bryan the World Championship. I do give WWE credit for course correcting on this, but even Batista felt he should have just come back as a heel. Number 3, Alberto Del Rio. If you know Del Rio, then you know that he's the absolute worst person to try and turn into a good guy. And yet, WWE tried. Alberto debuted in WWE in 2010. His character was a rich Mexican aristocrat who dressed nicely, drove cars into the arena, and had a personal ring-announcer. It was a solid heel character, but that all changed about 2 years later. In December 2012, at the TLC pay-per-view, Alberto's ring-announcer, Ricardo, was being harassed by the group 3MB. Alberto came to his ring-announcer
This also came around time that Miz turned face as well, too.
Thus, Del Rio was now a babyface. The obvious reason Alberto Del Rio didn't work as a face was because of his previously mentioned character. I don't think there's been a single wrestler who has a gimmick of being wealthy and is also a good guy. But on top of that, Alberto Del Rio's in-ring style didn't translate well as a babyface. Additionally, Del Rio himself has said he never liked being a babyface. And I mean, if you look at what he does in real life, you can kind of understand. I assumed WWE was trying to create a new superstar to appeal to the Latin American audience, which was the reason for turning Del Rio face. And to be fair, it could have worked. All you have to do is make Del Rio a foot shorter, have him wear long pants, wrestle a high-flying, fast-paced style, put a mask on him, and call him Rey Mysterio.
That's very
if WWE had just done that, I think it would have worked. But they didn't, and after about 6 months as a face, WWE turned Alberto Del Rio heel and never tried to make him a good guy again. Number 2, Randy Orton. Ironically, nowadays,
another one.
WWE can't stop fans from cheering Randy Orton, but back in the 2000s, it was a different story. While Randy debuted in the spring of 2002, his career really took off in early 2003 when he joined Triple H, Batista, and Ric Flair to form Evolution. While Randy was already a heel before joining Evolution, the group accelerated his career and helped his heel work take off. After about a year and a half in the faction, Orton finally got his shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. Randy defeated the one who must not be named at SummerSlam 2004, becoming the youngest WWE World Champion of all time.
Lord.
Then, the night after the victory, Triple H and Evolution would famously attack Orton, and thus, Randy turned face. The biggest problem with his face turn was apparent pretty early, and that's that Randy Orton wasn't comfortable as a face. Maybe it's because he was kind of a heel in real life at the time, or because he was still early in his career, but either way, Orton as a face did not feel natural at all. So maybe this face turn was doomed from the start, but WWE certainly didn't try to make it work. At the next pay-per-view, Unforgiven, Triple H beat Randy Orton to win the World Heavyweight Championship. Orton held the title for only a month, and this was his first title defense as a good guy. It just made Randy look weak and that he wasn't deserving of the title. That was bad enough, but somehow WWE made it worse. A few months later, at the 2005 Royal Rumble, Orton and Triple H had a rematch for the world title. Triple H once again won after hitting Orton with a clothesline and taking 30 seconds to hit Randy with a pedigree. Again, this just made Randy look weak, and it gave fans no reason to get behind him. Not surprisingly, just a few weeks after the Royal Rumble, Randy Orton would turn heel and have a legendary feud with The Undertaker. And the number one worst WWE face turn of all time is Kane. In his over 25-year-long career in WWE, Kane has had many face and heel turns. While they varied in quality and effectiveness, there was one face turn that was nothing but trash. In 2004, Kane began targeting Lita.
Oh yes!
Girlfriend.
Oh yes! Then yes! I agree with this one. Yes! Oh yes! I agree. I agree. I told y'all plenty of times that had to be the most conflicted dilemma in wrestling ever. Yes. Why in the hell would you make the guy be a babyface offer him losing the baby that he got from SA? Yes. Oh yeah. This is our number one. Oh yes. Nothing against Kane in general, or face as well, but this situation right here, yeah, put many wrestling fans in a conflicted dilemma as well too. Unless you want, don't give a fuck, you cheer if you want it. But at the same time, it put wrestling fans in a conflicted dilemma. Even commentary did not make Tarzan look great either. So yeah.
Would not only attack Matt Hardy, but also kidnap Lita. The storyline built to Lita eventually announcing she was pregnant. However, the father was not Matt Hardy, but Kane. Yes, when Kane kidnapped Lita, he impregnated her. There's a word for this, I'm pretty sure. The reason Kane did this was because he wanted an offspring to carry on his legacy. I guess that makes sense. Anyways, this led to a till death do us part match at SummerSlam between the Big Red Machine and Matt Hardy. Kane beat Matt, and per the match stipulation, Lita had to marry Kane. By all accounts, everything Kane did made him the most evil wrestler of all time.
Yeah.
He forced Lita to marry him, attacked Lita's boyfriend, and impregnated her against her will. But then, something strange would happen. During a match against Gene Snitsky, Kane accidentally fell on top of Lita. This caused Lita to suffer a miscarriage, but that wasn't the strange part. The strange part was that suddenly, Lita was now genuinely in love with Kane.
Yeah.
Not only that, but this whole miscarriage thing caused Kane to turn face.
Yeah.
He now wanted revenge on Snitsky for killing his unborn child. But it gets even wilder. During a match against Edge, Lita would betray Kane and hook up with the Radar superstar. And WWE framed this like fans should feel sorry for Kane. Only in WWE can a rapist be presented as a good guy.
Exactly, yeah. Exactly. That, oh my god, that put us fans in a fucking conflicted, one of the most conflicted dilemma ever as well too. It's like, oh god. Looking back at it, it really tried. And not only that, poor JR commentator, they was getting on folks who actually was cheering Lita and Edge Christian. Like, what are you cheering for? What's going on? This isn't happening. I'm like, I know JR was doing his job, and I blame him because I was bamboozled too. But at the same time, damn. Just thinking about that. That definitely is their number one. Oh my god. Other than that, if you like my reaction to this, like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. This is your boy T signing off. One love.